I spent 100 days making the most efficient base in Subnautica hardcore. Watch as we unveil this planet's story and how we managed to conquer it. But without further ado, grab some snacks because we're in for a long journey. I woke up realizing there was a fire, so I quickly extinguished it, being relieved I didn't die. I then met my savior in this dire situation, the PDA. Alright, we have landed in a planet full of water. So there are three main things we'll need to watch out for. Our food, water, and oxygen supply. Keep in mind, I said main things. We'll get into the other things soon. Our objectives is to make a small base and also make our first vehicle. But before that, we need more oxygen. And for more oxygen, we'll need an oxygen tank. For now, a small one will have to do. But I did pin the high capacity oxygen tank to make it very soon. That's my plan for now. These boxes contain fragments from tools and machines, so scanning them with the scanner allows us to learn those blueprints, but most of these tools require you to scan more than one fragment to learn it. But hold up, we're going way too fast. So what happened? Why are we here? Why did we end up in such a disaster? This is a photograph of planet 4546b, the planet we're trapped in right now. Nothing seems unusual beyond the fact that it's all mostly water. But when me and my crew were passing above it, I heard something charge. All alarms were blaring, so I got in my life pod and ended up here. Then I wanted to instantly make a vehicle to find out what the weapon that took down such a huge ship was. But then a quantum explosion in the Aurora drive core put a stop to my plan. Radioactivity was my biggest enemy right now. I was down in the caves looking for a fish known for having a very odd defense mechanism. Their usefulness to me is their sulfur content. Sulfur is a key component of the repair tool, so finding that is a big win for me. Making the repair tool was no harder than letting my fabricator do all the work with the resources I handed it. Now, let me repair our main systems and our radio.
Your operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours.
As you can tell from the radio message, we're not getting rescued anytime soon, so I might as well live well in this planet. My next goal is get a few blueprints researched, such as the mobile vehicle bay and the Seamoth, the underwater car of Subnautica. I also made the Sea Glide, which is something we're going to be using for the rest of this playthrough.
Unknown environmental biome. Scans suggest.
Now it's time to make the mobile vehicle bay and then make the Seamoth. This is Lifepod 3. The now dead people inhabiting it tried to make the Sea Glide faster by hot wiring a power cell on it. We guess that it exploded either in or next to the lifepod, rendering it unusable and critically damaged. The survivors died by the explosion and are nowhere to be found. South of our lifepod is a small island which has not only an interesting story beyond its trees, but also a fascinating way of standing above the water. The floating island was once inhabited by a group of 3, who also got shot down by the same mysterious weapon as us. Their crew name was the Degasi, and prior to the crash, there were 3 more of them, who unfortunately did not make it after their ship crashed. The Degasi were now 3 people, the leader and captain of the crew, the only child of the leader, and finally Margaret Maida, the mercenary hired to keep the ship safe from pirates. This base was their first of 3. They salvaged their ship and hence we can't see their ship in Subnautica. But all of this begs a question. Why is this base abandoned? Well, let's look a little deeper in their first voice log.
This island is a godsend. No predators, fresh food.
No building materials, nothing left of the ship. And your kid says we're gonna starve without more grow beds.
Their problem was food. This wasn't just a summer vacation, but a life-threatening situation. They would have to find a way to eat soon, or this was going to be their end. Paul, aka the leader, really wasn't fond of the idea, but had to agree anyways because going under the sea was their last hope of survival. I'll continue their story once we find their next base. I found a wreck from the Aurora, and thankfully I didn't need a laser cutter to go inside. When I went inside, I found fragments of a battery charger, which is going to be huge because I hate making new batteries after my old ones run dry. This is Lifeboat 6. There were 2 survivors there until there weren't. I'll let you listen and determine what happened yourself.
Put the flare down! I was going to try and attract someone's attention. That's not a distress flare! Stop waving it around like that, you'll catch the fuel line!
I then found some beacon fragments, which are going to be very useful for marking locations. I had enough titanium with me to make a small base, so I decided to look for a base location now that we explored the island and researched the multi-purpose room. Anyways, let's get to building. Now that part of our starter base is done, let me make a beacon and name the base. After that, I'll explain our next plans.
This is Avery Quinn of Trading Ship Sunbeam. Aurora D. Reed, over.
That is Avery Queen, the captain of a trade vessel, the Sunbeam. They picked up the Aurora's distress signal and offered help. Sadly, we can't reach out to them, so we're going to wait till they reach back to us, if they reach out again. Now, I want to expand the base just a little bit so I can add a bioreactor, a machine which transforms organic matter into energy, allowing us to make electricity even when it's night.
Now you're begging again. Breaking up shouldn't be.
You might have noticed I have a thermoblade, but I don't have the means to make one. Well, that's because I found a time capsule and the person that escaped had left behind some useful tool. Now I'm making some fiber mesh, which I'll turn into a radiation suit to go explore the Aurora. I went to grab some lead from the lifeboat, but when I came back to base, the radiation had spread in it. Thankfully, I had the resources to make the radiation suit just in time, so that wouldn't be a problem anymore. But I'm not going to always be wearing a radiation suit, so I think it's time we go to the Aurora. I also made the battery charger, which you'll see comes in very useful plenty of times, and now, really quick, before we go to the Aurora, I wanted to go explore Lifeboat 13. This lifeboat was destroyed because it was falling extremely fast towards the water. As soon as it landed, its hull failed and the person inside died on impact.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Then I also gathered some materials and researched the moon pool. I'll tell you more about the moon pool soon. This is Lifeboat 4. It landed way too close to the crash zone and got annihilated by a Reaper Leviathan. It turns out that our presence near planet 4546b wasn't coincidental. Hidden to most of the crew, we were passing by 4546b because we were actually looking for the Degasi, unknowingly running into the weapon that has now killed almost all of us. Finding the Degasi wasn't our main mission though. The Aurora was a brand new long-range capital ship, and in this expedition we were sent out to the Ariadne Arm by Altera to build a phase gate, a teleporter in other words. But Altera had made an agreement with the MIS, the Mongolian Independent States, to search for any signs of humans from the Degasi when we passed 4546b. The reason we were handed the task of searching for them is because of our highly advanced scanner, which is far better than any other ship out there that had previously tried finding the crew. Sadly, we weren't even able to use the scanner, well, because... After that, I decided it was high time we went home. Now, I can show you the moon pool. Basically, when our Seamoth adjusts itself underneath the moon pool, it docks us into it, charging the vehicle and keeping it safe from any predators. Most of my batteries are running low, so instead of letting them drain completely, I'll just let them charge in our brand new battery charger. I thought making the rebreather would be extremely great now that we stopped the radiation leak. Now we need a laser cutter. I'll explain why when I make it, so stick with me. So step 1 is complete, step 2 is also complete, and now I want to complete step 3 too, making the laser cutter. To make the laser cutter, I'll need 2 diamonds, a battery, 1 piece of titanium, and cave sulfur. This is the mushroom forest. A lot of fragments of Altera equipment have fallen here, thus being scattered with tons of useful stuff. Since the biome is quite deep, ranging from 125 to 250 meters, it also contains shale deposits, which, when broken, can give one of these 3 materials. One of those are diamonds, which we need for the laser cutter. And throughout the time I was exploring, I found 2 diamonds.
We're scanning for somewhere to park. We'll be in touch when we find it. Sunbeam out.
We're at the safe shallows now, because I need to find some more sulfur. Luckily, after a bit of searching, I came across a crash fish and stole its sulfur. Now, we have everything we need for the cutter, so let's go and make it.
This is an automated distress signal from Life Pod 12. Coordinates attached. Warning, Life Pod has sunk beyond safe diving distance. Do not attempt retrieval without submersible support.
It's time to use the laser cutter for the first time. Let's start with something simple, a wreck near our base. A lightweight, high-capacity tank blueprint and a vehicle upgrade console. One allows for faster movement underwater, and the other, well, I'll show you soon. It's pretty interesting. But now, let's gather a few table coral samples so we can actually make the console. This upgrade console is installed in the moon pool. It contains a console, no shit, and a fabricator, which makes vehicle upgrades. No shit. So let me show you how to use it. As you can see, we have 4 different kind of color tabs. So we can change the base color, which, well, you can see why it changes. The name, which is, oh my god, I keep pressing escape. Right here, it turns it white. I'll explain why we call that Sigmoth. I'll explain that in a second. And then we have the interior. You can see I've made it kind of greenish blue. And then stripe 1, which is this stripe next to the base. And here you can input the name you want. And that, of course, changes it here. And then you press done. That's it. That's easy as that. I came to the Aurora to reach the doors I haven't previously opened, so let's explore those too. This is where the prawn suits were stored. It's a groundbreaking discovery for us, allowing us to learn the blueprint to the prawn suit, thus learning the ingredients and eventually gathering them for construction of the vehicle. The prawn suit is a deep-sea mech which can withstand pressures at a base depth of 900 meters and when upgraded down to 1700 meters, which none of our vehicles can reach. We'll take advantage of this amazing robot to uncover the secrets of Planet 4546b. So stay tuned because this game is going to get even crazier. Whoa, hold up, but I don't have the code to the captain quarters yet. How did I get in? Well, I know the code by heart, so I said I might as well grab the rocket blueprint while I'm in here. You heard me right, the rocket blueprint. That's going to be our escape in approximately 90 days. Until then, oh boy, there are many things we're going to do till then. Anyways, right now we're going to go back to base and let me explain the name Sigmoth to ye. 2.5 years ago, when I didn't really know how to create entertaining content, which I'm still learning to this day, but back then it was much worse, I thought of this brilliant idea, finishing every survival game in my Steam library, which at the time was 6. I decided starting off with Subnautica was perfect, since I loved and still love this game to this day. On the 6th episode, I made the vehicle upgrade console. Let me think of a good name. The Sigmoth. Okay, kinda cringy, but it works, you know? At the time, my channel name was Sigma Gaming. I named it after my initial, which is S, and in Greek, my native language, it's Sigma, so Sigma Gaming. Sigmoth was representing my channel name and the vehicle in-game. I decided to make a wall shelf to just fill some space. The most efficient base doesn't mean it won't contain any beauty in it. I found another wreck and curiosity got the best of me, so I went inside to explore. Now, we're making the modification station, and then it's time to upgrade the base. The Sunbeam team is also coming to save us, so that's good. I can show them the base I've built, hang out here, show them around, and then we can go home, back to my family. To make an efficient base, we need plenty of lockers. Lockers with an assigned item, and a way to recognize which item is in which locker. So every locker has its own personal sign above it. I moved everything from the multipurpose room to the large room. This way, everything can be accessed in one room. In my opinion, one big room is better than 3 small rooms. The only thing I'm going to put multipurpose rooms down for are some bioreactors before we eventually make power differently. So I destroyed my other multipurpose rooms and created a new one just for a bioreactor. It's time though to go say hi to our friends in the Sunbeam and get out of here safely. Another island? No one said there would be another island here. I wonder if the Degasi were here too.
Survivor, we see you. Man, I don't know how you held out down there. Is that a building down there? Positions everyone. Touching down in 10, 9, 8. It's coming from the building? Change course. Set thrusters to full.
Damn, dude. I thought I'd be able to see my family in a few months, but it turns out it's going to take much longer than that, if I survive. I wish I could at least say goodbye before I eventually get eaten by a creature down here. Ion cubes are a material which contain huge amounts of energy. They were originally created by the precursors, aka the aliens. These are used to fabricate tablets to access alien buildings. Tablets such as the one we found in the Degasi base, which was also mentioned in one of their voice logs.
What is that thing?
I don't know. I found it outside in the sand.
They are also used to create high-capacity ion batteries and power cells. I realized that I was severely dehydrated and needed to go back to base immediately. I started losing HP and... that was too close for comfort. Anyways, let's go back to the gun. This time, prepared. At the end of a hallway, I found another purple tablet, which I'll keep just in case we need to open another force field. The control room of the alien gun. Here is where we can disable the gun to leave this planet, so it's great to turn it off now so we can launch the rocket when we build it. This thing stabbed me! Damn, what the hell, man?
The control panel is broadcasting a message. Warning, infected individuals may not disable the gun.
We've got a serious problem on our hands, quite literally. We've been infected by a virus, the coronavirus. That's the whole reason our starship got shot down. Now, let's recap everything to make it clearer for you. We got shot down by an extremely powerful laser gun created by aliens. We tried getting rescued by a small team, but the weapon shot them down too. Why though? The aliens before us were trying to cure the virus because it had become a pandemic, and without a cure, they and the fauna of 4546b would go extinct. They looked far and wide, finding only one liquid which, when touched, would cure the virus. The enzymes inside the eggs of the biggest sea creature in the planet. They failed to extract the enzymes though, thus making a weapon powerful enough to eliminate anyone and anything trying to enter or exit this planet. I went to explore the area where the 12th lifepod had crashed. This lifepod contained one person who died either by the coronavirus or by warpers. There was also a data box which had the repulsion cannon blueprint. So we've been progressing through the story, but we haven't actually started upgrading our base. What we have made is just a casual base your average Joe would make. But there's a question that's itching to be made. What really makes a base efficient? Well, I've thought this question through and I've come up with 4 things that make our bases efficient. One is the energy, not only having big amounts of energy stored, but also needing no maintenance and no upkeep. There's only one way to do this in Subnautica, and that is the thermal plant, which uses temperatures above 25 degrees Celsius to generate electricity, which means we will have to relocate our base to get to locations with a higher temperature. I'll elaborate on this later on. 2 is having our own source of food, other than fish, something like a plant, since they grow back and require no hunting once they're planted in the farming plot. I have the perfect plant to grow, which I will also show you in a bit. 3 is storage, not only a huge amount of available storage after our research runs, but also organized. Organized storage allows us to effectively look for things without going through every single locker in our base. It also helps if we have a storage room, but since we have this large room, I think we're going to keep every locker here. Finally, having an area where we can fabricate stuff with ease and also recharge our batteries and power cells, preferably near our lockers. I installed a storage module in the CMod, so every time we go out for research runs, I can pack some more stuff to bring back to base. Making a scanner room would allow me to find outcrops, fragments and other things such as stalker teeth much easier, so it's worth the investment. Lifepod 19 had Officer Keen inside. I'm pretty sure he died while going to the Aurora from a Reaper Leviathan. The lifepod itself, I don't really understand how it got destroyed, but I'm sure you can find some info on the web. This is the rendezvous point where everybody was supposed to meet up. Sadly, even though some people made it, they died shortly after. Here, I was exploring for any clues of the next Degasi bases. I also found geysers around here, suitable for thermal plants but dangerous due to the crab snakes. This biome contains shale outcrops, magnetite and some big resource deposits. Not the worst, but I don't think it's the best location either. My next step is to unlock and fabricate the Cyclops. To do so, I wanted to get the HUD chip, which I could equip and then look for fragments with the help of the scanner room.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
What are you?
The Cyclops is now fully unlocked. The only thing that's left to do is get the resources required. Everything is pretty simple to make. The only things that would be a slight challenge are the stalker teeth for the enameled glass. The gel sacks would have also been difficult, but I already had gathered some when I went to the Bob zone near Lifepod 12 if I'm not wrong. So for the prawn suit, I already had one stalker tooth that I could use. Unfortunately, I didn't have any more for the Cyclops, but I'll return to that in just a moment. Now, let's just enjoy the fabrication of our fresh robot. Anyways, back to our initial issue. The fastest way I could gather stalker teeth is using our semi-efficient base, more specifically the scanner room. Now that we have the HUD upgrade, the HUD chip, we don't even have to make the stalker drop their teeth. We can just already find some teeth that we wouldn't be otherwise be able to find. What? That we wouldn't otherwise be able to find. I named the prawn suit Fred because that's how we named the prawn suit in the other series. No specific reason, just Fred. I wanted to construct another moonpool for the prawn suit, but the structural integrity of the base had other plans. So I installed a reinforcement in one of the walls so I could fit the moonpool without my base pulling an ocean gate. Anyways, I spent most of day 18 gathering the materials for the Cyclops, and now on day 19, it's finally time we made the Cyclops. Now, let's take it back to base and let me explain our next massive plan. Our next goal is to move. Yes, that's right. I'm deconstructing this base and making it in the safe shallows. I found a geyser in there, and considering there are little to no predators in the safe shallows, it's worth it. We might think about moving in the future to access the deeper biomes easier, but for now, I think the safe shallows and its geysers are perfect. I accidentally smacked the back of the Cyclops into one of the moon pools and the whole base started flooding. Thankfully, I fixed it and went on my way to grab the sea moth from the old base and bring it back to the safe shallows. Also, if you align the Cyclops above any vehicle that can be docked, it will grab it instantly and you don't have to go outside to maneuver the vehicle inside the Cyclops. Just look at it here. Anyways, back at base now, I can dock the sea moth into our second moon pool. I put our old beacon here and renamed it into the Big Burden again. So this is our current base. We're running 2 solar panels, a couple lockers, a scanner room, fabricators and whatnot, but there's one thing that's missing. Thermal plants. So I think we should get working and make 2 of those. Anyways, cut the sad music. Why is that even running? You told me to put it on because it fits with the scary ambient environment of Subnautica, dumbass. Whatever. Cue something mysterious, you know, so we can craft the thermal plants without crying, for God's sake. Now we have to connect them with a power transmitter and bring the electricity back to base. As you can see, we've got 650 units of power able to be stored, so in my book, that's a job well done. We're now on day 24, almost a quarter of the way there. Next up are the lockers. I want to place a few more lockers and put signs above them so we can organize our resources, thus accessing them easier. Little off topic, but I love how Subnautica can be terrifying at times, being in the most stressful situation ever, getting chased by leviathans and whatever. And then this. Just upgrading your base, making it how you like it, and at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be the most efficient base ever. You just have to like it, as with everything really. But that's not a topic we should talk about now. It would be great to chat about different things with you guys, maybe in a stream, which you can join every Sunday at 7 PM Eastern European, here on YouTube. So subscribe now and turn on your notifications for every upload and stream we have. All I have been skipping through is me making and organizing some lockers, so you're not missing anything, I'm just sorting out our inventory situation. I also placed down a wall locker for the items that we have too few of to need a locker for. It's time we made a grow bed inside the Cyclops so we have food everywhere we go. I'll show you the plan I chose, but I'm not sure it's going to be the only one in my diet. I forgot to place down the modification station in the new base, so placing it down meant we could craft a depth module Mark II for the sea moth, meaning we could go deeper into the ocean. I'm not gonna bother you with the resource gathering, let's just craft the module and I'll tell you what's next. Alright, having made the module, it's time we find where the other Degasi bases are. A while ago I went down to the Jellyshroom Caves, the place where I gathered all my magnetite, and found a little platform which had a PDA on it. The PDA had some coordinates on it, which led me to the Degasi center base. Here I found fragments of a power cell charger, very useful to recharge the Cyclops since it can't be docked in a moon pool. Another thing extremely useful, the water filtration machine. It takes in salt water from the ocean and turns it into fresh water and salt, requiring only electricity. Now let's dive into the story of this specific Degasi base. The Degasi, like us, wanted to leave this planet, but they all knew that the weapon that shot them down hasn't turned off and it won't for anyone until it's disabled. They were trying to locate any clues on where the weapon is. Their scanner has picked up something more than 500 meters below sea level. The main reason they built this base first is because they initially wanted to secure some materials, food, and avoid any Reaper Leviathans. Bart, aka Paul's son, found out that they're infected by the Kara virus. He wanted to research further into the virus to hopefully cure it. In a careless decision though, Maida ironically dragged an injured Reaper Leviathan next to their base so Bart can research it. But their plan backfired and the Reaper which she dragged in there broke through the base, forcing the Degasi to move and spread out. Paul died, Bart made a base somewhere deeper and Maida disappeared. Our next goal is to explore the next base. Since we unlocked the power cell charger, as I said, I can now recharge the Cyclops, at least piece by piece, even though we have the efficiency module and don't need to do so that often. It's time we build the water filtration machine. We always are low on water, so it's perfect for our hydration needs. Remember the ultra high capacity data box we found in the Degasi sea base? Well, it's time to fabricate one. We can now hold our breath for 225 seconds, which drastically reduces our chances of drowning. To finish making the power cell charger, I needed rubies, so I went to the pulp zone to gather some and also stock up on other materials such as lithium, gold, etc. We're going to Life Pod 2, half a kilometer below sea level, in a biome called blood kelp. The reason being, well, just look at the flora. I found a time capsule. It contained a water filtration suit, which would be handy before the water filtration machine, but now it's not as much. Nevertheless, we'll wear it. Anyways, we reached Lifepod 2. It contained a PDA and a data box, which gives us a Cyclops depth module Mark 1, meaning we can dive deeper with our huge submarine. Now it's time to finish making the power cell charger. I gathered a few materials off camera and wanted to make vehicle upgrade consoles on both of my moon pools. Then I made the depth module we had unlocked for the Cyclops because it's going to come useful very soon. Stay tuned. I noticed we're running out of first aid kits, and in a hardcore world that can't pass, so we're making a fabricator to stock up on some. Now every once in a while, the medkit fabricator will make some medkits for us. Moving into day 30, I decided to start decorating again. Placing a small aquarium is a good way to start. Now we're heading even deeper, reaching depths of 500 meters below sea level, to find the second base that Bart made. As soon as I decided to hop off the pilot seat, a crab squid decided to say hello and scare the living crap out of me. I gathered up all the courage to go down to the base, knowing very well this could all end here. This crab squid was trying to get me, and it knew that I could feel and see its presence. It EMP'd me, trying to disable all my electronic devices, but it couldn't harm me, so it just waited. There ended up being two, and I could see them chasing me. The squid was frozen in place, but I saw another data box I wanted to grab, so when the stasis ended, I wanted to go back in. But then... how did I even come here with 0 medkits? Everything could have all ended here. All because of one stupid mistake. We need to go back and grab a medkit or two.